I'm alone on the bus, then I'm alone again, with one behind me, one in my stomach, and three next to me. I wonder, where are we headed? They say in France people don't have children, but France is coming soon.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
So who are you? Tell me.
So my name is Gabriel and I live in the 15th arrondissement and I'm also an activist.
All right, activist?
Natif activist.
Natif. So it's the Natifs?
The Natifs are the Parisian identitarian youth movement which works to defend Parisian identity as well as French identity and, more broadly, European identity.
Okay, what brings you here today?
Today we're here to respond to an event that affects us locally. That is the occupation of the Federation Gymnasium by undocumented migrants who were placed there by Paris's socialist city government. And there you have it, with little resistance from the mayor of the 15th arrondissement, who unfortunately only expresses regret.
So now they're setting up the equipment.
Thank you.
So tell me, what are you doing here?
We're here to protest, so to speak, against the occupation of gyms all over Paris to house migrants, that's it. Supposedly unaccompanied migrants, I guess. Unaccompanied migrants, supposedly, well, the usual circus.
So what have these migrants done to you?
Well, nothing, fortunately, so far.
For you to protest against them?
But they're taking the place of French children who now don't have a gym anymore, they have nothing left. So those people are being put in French children's place. And that's simply called the Great Replacement, and we really don't like the Great Replacement.
And why?
Well, because we have ancestors who fought for our country to be what it is, and there's no reason we should just hand it over on a silver platter to people who come from elsewhere.
It would be an act of generosity. It would be beautiful.
Yes, that's true. Well, then I'm not generous. That's all. I'm really mean, but I own it, you know. I own it.
Specifically, what would you want us to do with them then?
Not welcome them in a kids' gym? Then where? Usually there are shelters for migrants, plenty of them, yes.
But they're full?
Yes, they're full because the government doesn't expel anyone. The government is responsible. It's like saying, I'm putting migrants in your home tomorrow, and if you object, they say it's because there's no space. We shouldn't place them anywhere just because there's no space. These are facilities for children, specifically for Parisians, so what are we doing now? We'll put them everywhere because the government can't handle migration. Usually when our fridge is full after shopping, we stop buying. In France, we keep accepting migrants despite having no space left, placing them in children's gyms and possibly soon in primary schools or even the Élysée Palace. At least it's colorful.
Hello, sir. Hello, Victor.
Wow, you're really tall. How tall are you?
Me, I'm 2 meters, 2 meters 3.
2 meters 3, 2 meters 3.
That's it, we're here.
Is saying that these migrants who are here now, they're here, are going to cause problems? Isn't that a racist prejudice?
It's not a racist prejudice because these are things we've already seen at the Gaieté Lyrique, where as soon as people start housing migrants, those migrants create problems in the surrounding area. For example, at the Gaieté Lyrique, they were fighting in the park, things were getting a lot less safe. There was the shopkeeper who ran a bar right across the street who lost her customers because of that, and the pharmacy across the street as well. They've only been here a few weeks and there haven't been any problems yet, but it's possible it could happen. It's not racist prejudice. These things have happened before and the pattern is repeating itself. It's hard to believe the same equation would give a different result.
The left is asking, what do we do with these people? If they're not in this gym, they're outside. That's their approach to the problem.
Yes, but you see, that's treating the symptom a little without thinking about the cause. The first question we need to ask is not where are they going to sleep, what are we going to do with them, it's why are they here in the first place. So that's really the very first question to ask. And at that point, actually, since most of them are undocumented as well, the law provides for certain things, certain measures to deal with this kind of situation. And so, in this case, we are simply asking for the law to be applied, which, as it stands, means sending them back home, quite simply. Where, in fact, they might not have the problem of being on the street in winter, during the winter, and so on. So, we just want remigration to be applied to them for these people who, once again, have no reason to be here, who are occupying a gym at our expense, and more generally, who are also putting strain on an already overloaded welfare system.
And then people would say that you have no heart?
Yes, actually I do, because, as I was saying, for me and for us, what matters is defending our identity. And so I care about my own people, I care about my people, and those people harm us, deny our identity, and that's why I have a heart. So, no, I do have one. I do, a lot.
And there you see, for example, the left, I can see them coming. They're going to say you're a bunch of fascists. That's exactly what they're going to say. Liberation, street press, and so on. They're going to say that you're a bunch of heartless fascists who want to send people back by train. And so deport, that's the term they'll use. Poor people, miserable poor people. That we can help, that we have the means to help in France if we wanted to, by taxing the rich, for example. You see, I've just summed up the thinking of the left.
Yes, well, the thinking of the left is always to take care of migrants, but never to take them into their own homes, to constantly send them everywhere, but again, never to their own homes, and actually not to suffer the consequences themselves. That is to say, when we look at what's starting to happen, and even what's been happening for decades, actually, little Lola was killed by someone who was subject to a deportation order, someone we brought in on a student visa, by the way, a student visa that was completely useless. Actually, the left is just being sentimental. The left comes along and tells us, oh yes, we have to do this because it's the right thing to do, it's the side of virtue, etc. And actually, it's been 50 or 60 years that people have been getting killed in the name of the side of virtue, of humanism, because we're going to set up migrant camps with people who have never been checked for anything. We put them in gyms, and actually we don't know what their backgrounds are. What are their backgrounds? Why are they here? What are we doing? Who is checking them? There's no control, and ultimately it overflows and affects Parisians.
I think that's a counter-demonstration.
Is it the elected officials?
It's the municipal elected officials, yeah.
I think it's the municipality, yes. Probably the opposition, who knows?
But deep down, yes, the left claims to be on the side of morality and good. Yes.
Of course. Of course.
And if these unaccompanied or isolated minors aren't in this gymnasium, they would be outside, and there would be children outside, miserable people outside.
If they were in their own country, they would be even better off. They would be with their parents, their uncles, their aunts, all of that. They would be fine. We don't have to take on all the misery of the world, as a socialist minister once said, a socialist prime minister, Mr. Rocard. Not all the world's misery is meant for us.
That brings up the issue of resources. Can we accommodate these people or not?
Of course not. We don't have the means. We have 3,300 billion in debt. I don't even know how much anymore. We don't have the means. We have to stop. If we had the means, we would send them the money over there for starters, not here. But we don't have the means anymore. We don't have the means.
But sir, you have a nice shirt, suit and jacket. You still have things to give.
You are very kind, Mr. Lapierre. You are wonderful. Yes, that's true. Yes, I have some space in my living room and could let them stay there, but I just don't want to. I really don't feel like it.
Welcoming people in these conditions isn't normal, that's all.
However, we should instead provide more resources.
Well, more resources. But there are centers to welcome all these people who are coming. I mean, we can't welcome them in facilities that are reserved for other activities. That's not normal. So there's some in the 16th district, there was some in the 14th district. We're fighting against that.
For example, ma'am, do you have a second home? No.
I only have one residence. I can't afford it. I don't have a second home.
Could you have vacated your...
Second home, I could have. Yes, I could even host people on my couch, but generally it's people on the left who like to welcome others into their homes who are ready. I welcome them because I have a 2-room apartment, 2 bathrooms, and the means to host them properly, that's all. But now the left just piles people up and uses the excuse of saying, yes, but who will pick up your trash? Who will deliver your sushi at 10:30 p.m.? So they use those excuses when we say accepting so many people isn't normal. Subtitles MFP.
The excuses, by the way, have racist pro-slavery overtones.
It's 21st century slavery, absolutely, and I find it outrageous. There you go. And I don't take part in all that. I don't use Uber Eats or things like that to satisfy a whim at 10:30 p.m. No, I find it inhuman.
Look, what did they make? It's some kind of spritz. Ah, okay, look, hello, some lemonade? Wow, I'd love some. Well, here you go. It's good. Enjoy. Well, thank you, thanks. Lemonade. Ah, but you have to pay for it.
It's contribution based.
Okay. My hands are full. Jean-Yves Le Gallou, hello.
Yes, hello, Vincent Lapierre.
What are we doing here?
Well, we think that illegal immigrants should be relocated and not settled in gymnasiums. Gymnasiums should be used by sports associations and by the residents who live in the neighborhoods, not occupied by illegal immigrants.
Yes, but the word remigration is scary. It reminds me of trains and deportation.
Not at all, not at all. It will be a happy remigration that will allow a number of people who have no place in Europe, in France, to return to their country of origin. On the contrary, it will be very good for them. And for us, and first of all for us, because we must think of the French first, think of Europeans first before thinking of others, our own before others.
Many people agree with you, but believe remigration is politically unrealistic.
Well, not at all. It's a matter that needs to be handled step by step. We have to start by remigrating the illegal immigrants, then remigrate those who have residence permits but live only on social assistance, remigrate the delinquents. There's a lot of work to do. It's realistic and most importantly necessary.
Look, they've put up the banner.
Welcoming and housing migrants at the expense of Parisians' daily lives. Parisians from the 15th district were not consulted. They were not asked to vote, but to finance it. To finance, since March 30th, the occupation of a facility meant for neighborhood use by more than 100 undocumented migrants who find themselves stuck there.
The liberationists have an admirable side. They invented perpetual motion. We bring in illegal immigrants, or we let illegal immigrants come, or we encourage illegal immigrants to come, thanks to subsidized organizations like SOS Méditerranée, for example. Those same illegal immigrants settle along the streets, along the ring road, along the riverbanks. This creates trouble. This creates a lack of peace, a lack of security, a lack of cleanliness. So they suggest housing them in gymnasiums, and gymnasiums are requisitioned and taken away from their intended users. This is just one step, by the way. Since, after the gymnasium, we will probably take all these undocumented immigrants to towns, small towns, maybe even small villages in rural France. And so, illegal immigration, the invasion, is spreading like this, with the help of the public authorities. And then, since the Quechua tents have been cleared out, since some spaces along the ring roads, along the docks, have been cleared out, well, new illegal immigrants will arrive, and that's how the pro-immigration activists invented perpetual motion.
I counted 70 people there at the gathering. I counted them one by one, Parisians.
Defend yourself, you're here at home. Parisian, defend yourself, you're here at home.
Neither here nor anywhere else. Neither here nor anywhere else. Neither here nor anywhere else. Hello?
Ma'am, what do you think of these slogans? I don't know.
I'm still thinking about it. For now, I don't have an opinion. You don't have an opinion.
Do you live in the 15th district?
Oh, yes, it's been a very long time, yes.
So, how has this neighborhood changed, the 15th district of Paris?
Like all neighborhoods, I think. Like all neighborhoods, you know. But, well, why? Does he still requisition in the 15th? Because this isn't the first time, like on Rue de la Fédération.
Yes, there are others.
Oh, yes, there are many others. Why? Is it to annoy the people from the 15th who didn't vote for the left? Again, we don't know. I think you've got a bit of everything in the 15th. Well, that's true. So, you pay your membership fee, you pay the fees. I don't know, I heard it was 400 euros for the year. Your kid can't go do sports anymore. It's still a bit crazy, isn't it, don't you think? That's what I think. So, as Parisians, we're at home here. Paris is a melting pot, it's for everyone, but still, these migrants, anyway, it's an immigration policy that's useless. We want to welcome them, but there needs to be something to help them work, to house them, and then all the smugglers from every side, it's all just business. They fill those poor guys with false hopes, promising them who knows what. They're here afterwards, and that's it.
There's the new far right, look. Damn, hey. Hey guys, Mussolini is turning in his grave right now.
Badminton, that's really scary. Unfortunately, we can't do it anywhere else but here, so...
Yeah, because there's no gym, that's it.
Nice.
No, we don't have it. It's gone. It's gone.
Hello, ma'am. Do you know why these young people are protesting?
I didn't know, but I asked and looked into it so my grandchildren would know. You see...
What did you think about what you found out?
I think that children still need to play sports, and I don't agree. That's it. I don't agree with the requisition. All right, that's it.
Okay, that's already pretty good. No, look. Sorry, my apologies, no problem. Wow. At the heart of the news, that's it. It's the risk, the taste for risk. Hello, ladies, you arrived just in time. Oh, really? What do you think of this protest? Perfect. Really? Very good. Do you agree?
Oh, yes. We're so overwhelmed by all these people, we barely know where we live anymore.
But now, ma'am, I'm asking your generation, what happened here?
We have been invaded by migrants whom we receive and assist, and we pay taxes through the nose. Everything is taken from us, and we see it all slipping away. For the associations that came around here, it's easy pickings, the land of asylum, that's what we call it.
Young people see this France and wonder, what have you done looking at us and yourselves?
What have politicians done since Mitterrand?
They were elected.
They were definitely elected, I agree. But every time we changed, it just got worse and worse. And it started with Mitterrand, didn't it, when he started his Quranic school in Chinon, right? After being elected, he established a Quranic school there.
Reading Alain Pérefité, you see de Gaulle knew the problem was already present. He argued in the Council of Ministers that Algerians coming should return. De Gaulle insisted on this.
We shouldn't forget that we went to get them, because we needed labor at the time.
But he wanted them to go back?
Yes, exactly.
It wasn't clear. The minister's answer is yes.
Afterwards, he was no longer in the government. He left.
Afterwards, he took office.
We accepted. And then we accepted birthright citizenship. That brought families, it brought everything. It was a flood of immigrants.
D'émigrés? I don't know. There are other countries, Canada or I don't know who, I don't know what. When you bring in migrants, you have to be able to welcome them, you can house them, you can give them a job, you can teach them the language so they can reintegrate properly, right? That's what I think, but well, maybe I'm old-fashioned, huh?
Me? No, on the contrary, I think you're very modern, huh? In any case, those ideas are really popular right now.
What? Mine, you mean? Yeah. I just try to use common sense, that's all. I say that with extremes, you need some kind of reasonable middle ground. I come from a family of farmers, and they didn't have a higher education, but they had common sense. We're originally from Bolivia.
Is that true? Yes.
It's true. My mother, yes. I was born in France, but my wife and mother...
Yes. You're married to a Bolivian woman? Yes. Like me, my father married a Colombian woman.
Yes, I know you.
So yeah, it's funny. So you're a Latino on the right?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
They're a bit like you?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's cool.
What are your thoughts on what's happening in France?
So...
The play, do you know Bolivia or not? Yes. So...
I've already been there several times.
So, you have a foot in both worlds?
Yeah, exactly.
In South America, what would happen if a gymnasium was requisitioned by...
That wouldn't happen. The gymnasium wouldn't be given to people who don't qualify. They have national preference there. I'm not talking about skin color here. In South America, there are white people. In Bolivia, there are Amerindian people, black people, and mixed race people. It's about national preference first, which is normal there. No one calls them racist. Personally, I've never heard anyone say that's racist over there. Quite the opposite. I've heard a lot of Bolivians from my family or friends because I often go there, so mixed race Bolivians, Amerindians, even white people, they clearly see what's happening in Europe and especially in France. Obviously, they don't agree with all that. They can see that it's not normal, obviously.
But Americans who come to Paris are usually shocked.
Those who come here, I think yes. I don't know them that well. But the ones I know well who are over there, yes, honestly, they don't agree. They don't agree at all to begin with mass immigration. And on top of that, if we talk about this, about the gym being illegally requisitioned, that's crazy.
Unimaginable.
But obviously that's not possible.
What we're saying here is very serious because we're talking about a country, an old country.
I've been here for 40 years, and for 15 years we've been saying if we don't do anything, it's going to be very serious. And today, we've reached saturation. We can't take it anymore. There are no more jobs. Look, 2 companies have disappeared. The cars, BHV is going to disappear. 250 layoffs at Galeries Lafayette. But what will all these people do besides social welfare?
And I want to tell you that maybe this is just the beginning, actually.
I don't know. Can't we send back these people who are here illegally? It's complicated to send them back. Apparently, it seems complicated to me.
The countries they come from don't accept them, apparently.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So what do we do?
But what do we do, guys? But why do we have so many people on welfare in France? The other day, there was a lady, she told me, well, I knew her in the 7th district over there. I have a friend in the 7th. She told me, I declared myself a housewife, but I have my partner. I get benefits. I have 4 children. I get benefits. I don't need to work. She told me she was getting nearly 3,000 euros. And there was a guy who said, I don't even know how many kids I have. He says, like that, I'll collect a little from all my wives. I must have something like 30 children. No, am I dreaming or what? I go to Montparnasse almost every day. I take the 88 bus there. I pass by Falguière. I'm alone on the bus. And then, even though I'm alone, there's one with a child on her back, 1 in her belly, 3 beside her. I think to myself, where are we going? And they tell us that in France, people don't have children. But France, it's going to be soon. Well, I have nothing against it. We need them. But at this level, we're being overrun.
So you, as a Frenchman too, how does it make you feel to see France going in this direction?
First of all, I think there are two things. First, you have to understand that France has an identity, like every country in the world. Well, almost every country in the world, okay? It has an identity. That can be reflected in all the things that represent France. It can be a lot of different factors. I'm just saying things at random. Gastronomy, for example. Haussmannian architecture. Here, we're in Paris, right? And that's something that can upset people a bit, but even the people themselves, right? The French represent France. It makes sense. Skin color, for example, is part of that identity. You see what I mean? Religion as well. France is basically a Christian country founded on Christian principles. People will tell me that the law is secular. Yes, on paper it has become secular. Actually only very recently, so it's a Christian country. It's a country that was built, that was made by white people, right? If I go back, the Gauls, the Celts, the Romans who came, the Franks, as far as I remember, they were all white people, basically. So France has this identity. White people, basically. Personally, I would like France to remain mostly true to its identity. That it remains a mostly white Christian country and pretty much everything that represents France. I don't mind if there are minorities. My mother comes from an immigrant background and is considered a minority. So I don't mind that there are minorities, but I'd just like them to remain a minority.
Hello, ma'am. Are you a resident of the 15th district? Yes?
Absolutely, for almost 40 years.
How have things been lately?
I stopped going out because I'm very afraid for my children. I installed an alarm 2 years ago. After the Olympic Games, I installed an alarm. I live nearby on Rue Le Courbe. I installed an alarm, but I still don't feel safe. Just seeing what we see in the street at Saint-Lambert Square, the young kids, the little gangs of troublemakers, well, we have to call it like it is. The 15th district isn't what it used to be. It's not safe anymore. I raised my children here, and I wouldn't do it again. If I had to do it over again.
How quickly did things worsen?
I would say since 2015 we started to see it already in Paris in general. And the 15th district 10 years, the last 10 years, the Macron years, clearly. I'm very, very angry. I thought it was the mayor's responsibility, that it came from the mayor. Then I discover it's Paris City Hall. It's not necessarily the mayor, but on Rue Mademoiselle there's a private building that was preempted. It's being transformed, it's being turned into social housing. In those buildings there are a lot of public housing units. They're not public housing, just moderate rent apartments. I don't know their exact name. There are only people who... people who misbehave, who lack our values, and in social housing it's just them.
In my district, we saw children arrive. We actually saw all the crap that was decided by the Central City Hall arrive here, which ended up in our area and is deteriorating our neighborhood, and they benefit from our public money that we pay. And actually, in the end, what I think is that we're basically paying for our own eviction, since we don't want to live in this situation. We don't want, in the long run, to see our families, get attacked. That's what happened to my mom, and it also happened to me in the 15th district. For me, it was 2 years ago. For my mom, it was last year in the 15th district. And now, on top of that, with Rue de Fédé, the gym being set up, and also Rue des Cévennes, there's nothing good about that. We want to protect our loved ones, especially when we have children. The decisions made by the Central City Hall have consequences, not only on my own future, but also on hers in the long term, because of the major changes happening in our neighborhoods, especially the 15th district.
But have you actually seen anything specific?
Well, I haven't seen anything, but I do see groups, it scares me. I'm scared. We used to have a caretaker, but we don't anymore due to money issues. And so they hired, people who do the cleaning. And actually, I open my door at home and I run into a guy. I don't know who he is. He's there with a broom. I don't know if he's really a cleaner. If he's not a cleaner, I don't know, I don't trust anyone anymore. Once I came home, well, my aunt's place was broken into. She lives on Le Courbe Street. Her place in that building was broken into. And one evening I come home, it's 8 p.m. I come home, so I go into my building. And then a small group of 4 young guys confronts me. They're 12, I tell them I know my building and they don't live there. I ask what they're doing and they say they're visiting friends. I reply, there are no kids here. What are you doing here? It's okay, Mom, please calm down. I say, you need to get out of here quickly because if not, I'll call the police. I don't know what those 4 kids plan to do. Well, obviously they're not white, They wanted to come in at the same time as me. My father, he was 83 years old. He was slammed against the wall. And they stole his gold bracelet. Because he was across the street at the supermarket. So I think he was spotted by a guy who must have seen that he had a bracelet. And it got stolen from him by a young guy about 20 years old, a young North African guy about 20 years old. No, we're not safe anymore, honestly. In any case, I don't feel safe anymore. And then when I heard there was this rally over the gymnasiums, I thought, no, that's too much. Now we're really crossing the line.
Hello? Can I interview you? No.
No.
All right, no problem. Have a good day. You know, the young people there aren't...
They're not really fans, you know?
I knew him.
They're not fans.
It's always fun. If you got this close to a far-left protest, you get your face smashed in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Come here, you're safe.
Absolutely. Nothing happens to them here. Good point from Edward. They're here just 2 meters from the so-called, yet nothing happens to them.
The so-called violent far right, they're right next to them. Honestly, I'm ready to bet that if they showed up and asked for a joint, they'd get it. If we approach one of their rallies, we get attacked. I'm getting closer now.
At this distance from a far-left rally, guys, I'd get beaten up. Beaten up, they'd steal my gear.
Thomas, the journalist from LSE News who just spoke, received 65 days of medical leave after an assault.
She's saying she's housing an unaccompanied minor all year round?
That's glorious. At the hosted furnitures, I was an unaccompanied minor for years. Is that correct? I didn't have social security. I think you...
She wouldn't let you stay with her.
No, I don't think so. Strangely. But, well, I think that points the finger at us there. It's a...
They're here, you see. But if I went to a protest and got close, they'd call it provocation. Did you ask them anything? They don't want to talk? Do you want to go debate with them, with those people? La Jeune Garde? No, it's fine. Is it really La Jeune Garde? Are you sure? How do you know it's La Jeune Garde?
We know them, you know. As nemesis, we deal with Marie Coquille, all those girls.
Yeah, okay, it's La Jeune Garde. She's taking a ton of photos there. That girl is taking a lot of photos over there. But that's Marie Coquillette? Yeah, I know her. Okay, got it. Okay. Look. They have a lot of photographers. There's another one over there just taking pictures of people. Hello, sir. Can I interview you? Tell me, what are you doing here? Why are you taking pictures that way? Me? And what are you going to do with the pictures? Where are you going to publish them?
I'm with the media.
There you go.
It can be political, it can be liberated, it can be you.
You're not speaking loud enough, I can't hear. Hey guys, they took a picture of you, that's crazy, huh? So it was La Jeune Garde, actually. Over there, dead ORN. Dead ORN. Indeed, dead ORN. Yeah, I saw. Guys, you got your picture taken really, really properly. Oh yeah?
That's true.
Mais La Jeune Garde?
We'll see you around then, no problem. I hope they're getting my best side, my best angle.
On the other hand, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything.
All right then.
They passed by.
Well, there you go, but I like them a lot, and I send them my regards.
They went along with fascism without saying anything, and then they left.
All right. Well, it's, you know, there's no need to hide from me. I'm not an aggressive guy, you know.
So what about you? What are you? Are you far right? Are you neo-fascist, neo-Nazi?
All of the above, you know. No, look, I consider myself an identitarian. That's the only label I claim. What does that mean? It means that I belong to the native populations of Western Europe, that our goal is to defend our hegemony over our territory as much as possible, a cultural, demographic, economic and political hegemony, and that's it. And so also I find that there is too little conviviality in contemporary life, and I like the fact that I can simply create connections with an activist community.
All right. Would you be against Congolese people, for example, in Congo, defending their identity and their culture?
I think it's in their best interest to do so. I would encourage them to do it, the Congolese, to defend their identity, because if they don't, it's not going to be people from other nations who will do it for them. So
you're not racist?
No, absolutely not. I don't believe at all that there are any special differences between races or that there's any inferiority or superiority or anything like that.
So you don't think about things that way, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. For me, being identitarian means that everyone belongs to a people, a culture, and if you don't stay connected to the continuity of your people, well, you compromise your psychological integrity, your happiness, your ability to build a happy life, so that's it.
So, you don't hate others, just love your own people?
Absolutely. But I have no aversion to other peoples. I really like China, India. I'm interested in all continents, in all languages. I find it fascinating. This beautiful diversity must be defended at all costs, I believe. I really like the concept of indigeneity, for example. It's a word I really like. A people on their land, quite simply. Simplement.
It weighs on me to pay so many taxes, especially seeing what's given out without transparency. You can feel it.
Do you feel that in the street now? Well, yes.
Because it's right across from our house.
So can you tell me exactly what's going on?
It's really an absurd situation because Parisians aren't being asked to vote, but they're being asked to pay for it.
I just want my people and my loved ones to be able to continue living on the land of their ancestors as they always have until now.